Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of All Things Buying a House. I'm Celisa James and I'm here with Taylor Nevitt.
Hey everyone.
Today we have a special guest for you guys. We have Sharon Nevitt. She is our owner / boss and also Taylor's mom. We thought it would be really fun to have her on the podcast, seeing as we've brought her up in a few of our previous ones, and she's been in the business for such a long time.
So long.
29 years, people. So we thought it'd be really fun to go ahead and have her on and just talk about herself. She loves to do it. So here we are. Sharon, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell our podcast listeners a little bit about you, how long... Well, we told them how long you're in the business, but kind of your background and that kind of thing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Nevitt, and I've been doing real estate for such a long time, as you heard. I got my license when I was 21, and I sold real estate for a while, and then I got my broker's license, and I went straight into mortgages, where that was a much better fit, and I've been doing that for many, many years, and we own our own business here in the village of Arroyo Grande.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and get into, so you're a broker, so you do have your broker's license, correct?
Yes.
So what's kind of different between you and somebody like, say me, where I have my NMLS and I have my DRE or my real estate license, or somebody who like works at a bank? What kind of like sets you apart? Like what do you have to do to get your broker's license?
Well, in order to have your own mortgage company, you have to have a real estate broker's license, which allows you to sell real estate and broker home loans. So a bank is licensed under a federal license, and that's all they're required to have. But when you work in California and you want to broker on your own, you have to have your real estate broker's license along with your mortgage licensing.
Perfect. So a really cool thing about Sharon is she is all about women in the business, which I think is really awesome. We have a full office of women. She really supports them anytime we have like a woman real estate agent or another woman lender. Sharon's super, super supportive of that because you don't see very women in our business, especially on the lending side. And I'm not really sure why, because I feel like we're really good at this job. But it's mostly a man's world. There's a lot of men in our business. And so that was one of the things that I really appreciated about Sharon when I started working with her, is that she is very much like for the woman. She's there to lift you up. She's there to push you on. And she wants you to do great things as a woman in this business. So why don't you tell them a little bit? You're on the Women's Council of Realtors, correct?
Yes.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about that and kind of like what you guys do and what that is?
Okay, well, when I started, it was a super male-dominated industry. So in any circle, it was all men and me or two other women, and nobody really took us seriously. So early on, I learned that I had to have special, I had to behave a little different or have little tools to be respected or to be heard. And then moving forward, we have Women's Council of Realtors that have been around for a very long time, and they're very encouraging of women in business and some of the issues that we face, because we really do. We have stuff that men don't have in the industry. They're heard much quicker, they're respected much quicker, and it still takes place slightly, not nearly as bad, but you rarely see female mortgage brokers. They are, usually the women are more in the real estate side and the real estate sales. Mortgage brokers are typically men. I'm not sure why that is, but it's very technical and it's a hard job. It's not a real easy job. So that's why I support women doing, and especially women who own their own business, because it is a hard thing to do. So we're very supportive of that in this office and very aware of whatever challenges we may face.
Also, another fun fact about Sharon, she won, it was Women's Council Member of the Year,
Yes.
Right, in 2018.
Yes.
Super cool. I get to look at the award every single day. She proudly displays it in our office.
It was actually 2019.
Oh, my bad. See, didn't even know. I was there for her winning it, though. She had no idea. It was really funny. They just started kind of naming off facts about her, and then she had to go up in front of a bunch of people and accept her award, and it was probably the best thing I've ever seen. It was really, really fun to watch. Okay, let's see. What else? How do you keep or how do you build some of your like realtor relationships? Because you do have some really, really good realtor relationships. You work with a lot of people. I know you've been here for a while, so you have, the relationships of the people that you've known like growing up. But how do you kind of connect with your agents and keep those relationships going to where they want to use you? Because I feel like a lot of your real estate agents are pretty loyal to you, and they usually send pretty much all of their business to you if they can.
Well, our model in this office is I work hands-on with the realtors, and then I pass on the clients on to you, Salisa. So realtors work evenings and weekends, and they require a lot of hand-holding, and there's a lot of questions being asked. So I'm available all the time to agents and our borrowers. But the agents, since I understand that world and I sold for so long, I did both, that I'm able to stay on top of the agents and help them with their offers. I work a lot with millennials and young agents, and so I can help them with their contracts and just always being available to them and always giving them updates and information on an ever-changing world of lending, especially during this COVID-19.
Yeah. And I can vouch for Sharon. I have gotten emails at like 10 o'clock at night from her. So she is definitely always working. Yes. She's always working, always on her phone, always on her emails. She gets back to all of her clients and her agents extremely fast, which I think is one of the main reasons that her agents are very loyal to her, because you don't find that very often. There's a lot of people who, weekends are weekends and they take them off and you don't hear from them until Monday. So that's a really cool thing about Sharon, is she's always on her phone. She's always responding. You never have to worry about getting a hold of her, which is really cool. You've worked for some other banks before you owned your own business, correct?
Yes.
Where did you work like before? Like kind of where have you worked? Because I think you've owned another loan brokerage before too, haven't you?
Yes. And so when I had my first brokerage, Taylor, who's here, my daughter, she was very young, and so she learned early on that how important realtors are in my business and a woman in business. And so she was always raised with respect of that, and I think that made her an empowering young woman here in the office. And then when I worked for banks, actual banks, they were very much ran by bureaucracy, and they're very much in a box. And so you can't have a borrower with anything tricky or anything outside of the norm and get it through a bank, because banks are very vanilla, they're very cookie cutters. So that model didn't really work for me. It was very corporate. It took a month to see a big change in any product. So I went back to brokering because banks just are too much in a box. And in our area, we have a lot of self-employed people. We have a lot of people that just don't fit the mold of a cookie cutter that fits in a bank.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Is it hard to run your own mortgage brokerage, or like was that something that you would recommend for somebody if they're wanting to get like their broker's license? Like, would you recommend them to open their business if they have the right experience for it?
I think that brokering is absolutely not for everybody. I think there are people that work so much stronger within guidelines, that like structure every single day and like to be told what to do. That would be people that just want to work in a bank setting and do home loans right out of a bank in maybe a satellite office. But brokering was better for me because I like all the activity. I like that every day I don't know which banks are doing what and pricing rates. I would say it's not for everyone, but it's absolutely my favorite thing. And I think that it is very time consuming, but it's also very rewarding, and it's super fun. I would way rather broker loans than only sell one loan from one entity.
I 1,000% agree with that statement, which is why we did the breakdown.
It's fun, right, Taylor?
Yeah. It's why we did the breakdown last week of what the difference is between a mortgage broker, a bank, and then like a retail versus us. So that's why we did that breakdown for you guys, so you kind of could hear the difference. But I totally agree with Sharon. I think brokering is definitely not for everybody, but I very much prefer working at a brokerage. working for Sharon is also a ton of fun. She definitely makes sure she adds enough fun in with the work grind so you don't get burnt out and you want to continue to come into the office every day, which I super appreciate. Another really fun fact about Sharon is she is a huge dog lover. We actually have 2 of the dogs in the office as we speak. She has a lab. His name's Coda. He's a giant white lab or yellow lab. Are they yellow labs or white labs?
This one's white.
White, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's like brown, which is like chocolate labs.
English. So
Yeah.
Chunky.
And then she has a little King Charles Cavalier, and his name's Kobe. And we actually found his grown twin yesterday. We had somebody walking past our office, and of course she ran out to go tell him that she had the same exact dog that he had so he could bring it over and we could see it. So just in case you guys were wondering, huge dog lover over here. We always have puppies in our office, which is also why you probably hear them in some of our podcasts because sometimes they get a little bit noisy. Let's see, can you think of anything to ask your mom, Taylor?
I kind of had one question, just like growing up and watching you doing this forever, but how has it been going from everything kind of like on paper to now paperless?
That's a great question.
Because I've grown up everything on a computer, even most of my teachers I only talk to through computer, so things aren't as face-to-face anymore, you know? If you want to touch on that.
That is a great question because when I started, we used a typewriter. Do you girls know what that is?
Just kidding. I know what a typewriter is. I've never used one in my life, though.
Like in the museum?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No,
you poke one at a time.
I feel like one of the first in my generation to embrace paperless. I love it. But I also like new technology, even though I'm so bad at it. I want to learn it and I want to know it and I want it in place. I'm just not the greatest at picking it up. That's why I have you girls. But I definitely want to keep evolving with the change or someone else will pass me up. So the minute we could go paperless, we did. And I think that was with you, Lisa.
Yeah.
And I think it is an absolute game changer in speed, in technology, in getting 8 hours worth of work done in 3 hours. I think you were my first assistant to do literally 8 hours worth of work in 3 hours because you knew it so fast. So I think that's the best thing to ever happen to us. And as we evolve, today we have a doc signing, and I am told the entire doc signing will be done online, virtually, versus paper. So we didn't even have that, I would say 2 months ago. You had to go into escrow and live sign every document.
Right.
So right now in our county, we're allowing virtual or online signing. So I'm going to attend that today. That'll be super exciting. And it's the best. I love it. And I know that my counterparts, there are loan officers that are still doing paper.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there definitely are. And I think it's a big struggle when you have to go with the times. And like right now, like we're starting to do, they're called virtual e-closes. So it's the online signings. Thanks to COVID, that really got pushed because, not a lot of people wanted to be around other people, and so they started doing those, and I think it's a huge game changer. It just makes everything so much faster. The client has a lot less paper that they have to carry with them and track, and instead of an hour signing, you can get a signing done in 30 minutes because you're literally just e-signing. And we know a lot of other people who still do the paper thing, and it takes forever, and it's so easy to lose documents that way too, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas online, you can always find it because you can search for it.
And to piggyback on that, come tax time, everyone calls us for their documents, and we have them online. We don't have paper, so we don't shred them. So we'll hold your documents as long as possible, and you'll call, and we'll scan those over, or we'll just shoot those over email to your accountants. So it's very helpful to have entire files online.
Yeah, I super agree with that. Do you have any other questions you can think of?
I don't think so.
Is there anything you'd like to tell our beautiful audience, Sharon?
I would encourage young people, women, men, whatever, young people, to get your license and be mortgage brokers. I think there's just so few of us, and we don't have a lot in our area. We have a whole lot of licensees, a whole lot of salespeople, and I think they're terrified to get to the loan side. But I think that it's lucrative. It's a great career path. It's an amazing career path. and I raised my daughter with it her entire life. So I think that it is a good thing, and I'm hoping to see a lot more mortgage brokers or mortgage lenders just popping up